Welcome. In this playthrough of Marvel Champions, a card game, we have Ant-Man with the power of aggression taking on Crossbones in expert mode. So for our setup with Crossbones, he'll be starting out with a scheme of 2, attack of 2. While he has a weapon attachment, his attacks gain piercing. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Crossbones machine gun, attach it to him, and shuffle the encounter deck, and he'll be starting with 14 health. His machine gun is going to come in with 2 ammo counters on it. Force interrupt. When he attacks you, remove an ammo counter from this card and discard the top card of the encounter deck. Take indirect damage equal to the number of boost icons on the discarded card. And for the main scheme, for expert mode, we're using Crossbones 2 and 3. We're using the Crossbones, experimental weapons, and standard encounter sets. I'm also using Hydra Patrol as printed here, Weapons Master, and Legions of Hydra for the modular encounter sets. I'm going to create the experimental weapons deck and set that to the side. Then when we flip over, we see we've got a threshold of 3 per player. When revealed, reveal the top card of the experimental weapons deck. So we'll go ahead and shuffle these 4 cards, and we'll be starting the game with Power Gauntlets. Attached to the villain. After the attached villain attacks and damages you, discard a card from your hand. So here are actions. Spend a mental and physical resource to get rid of that. And of course, we're using Ant-Man in his tiny form. Thwart of 2, attack of 1, defense of 2. Puny Pest. As a response, after you change to this form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. Hand size of 5 and 12 hit points. Alter Ego. Recovery of 3. Time to unwind. As a response, after you change to this form, heal 1 damage from Scott Lang. Hand size of 6. Then his giant form. Thwart of 1, attack of 3, defense of 3. So giant nuisance. After you change to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy and a hand size of 4 on this side. And I'll go over deck construction at the end of the video. So finishing setup, shuffling the encounter deck here. And then for our hero stack, we'll be getting 6 cards. And see what we get here. We've got Tigra, Strength, Relentless Assault, Pim Particles, Swarm Tactics, and Combat Training. And I'll keep the Combat Training and Strength and Tigra to make sure we get an ally out. We'll pitch these 3. Getting Endurance, She-Hulk, and the Power of Aggression. So we'll start out with the Combat Training. Bring that in, giving us +1 attack. Then he takes up so much room, we'll go ahead and go to our giant form. Thwart of 1, attack of 3, defense of 3. So for allies, I'm going to bring in Tiger because I know this deck is heavy with minions, so maybe we can keep her around a little longer. She'll come in, we'll attack for 2. Down to 12. Then we'll attack for 4, down to 8. End her turn. We'll keep She-Hulk, drawing 3 more cards into an Energy, Relentless Assault, and Power of Aggression. Villain phase, we get a threat. So Crossbones is going to attack. We're going to go ahead and defend, and he's going to shoot at us. And that's going to do 2 damage. Then the attack is 2. Goodness, 5 damage coming through. We block 3. Down to 8. After your attacks and damages, discard 1 card from our hand. We'll get rid of the Relentless Assault. Counter card, Crossbones Assault. When defeated, Crossbones activates against the player who defeated the scheme. Gives us an acceleration token and comes out with 2 threat on it. So we will go ahead and flip to our tiny form. After you change to this form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. we will bring in She-Hulk. And she's got a thwart of 2, attack of 1. She gets +1 attack for each damage token on her. We're going to use her to thwart. So Crossbones is going to activate against us. So first he's doing some damage, which is going to get the last counter off of that. Doing 1 damage to us. And let's see. Yeah, we'll just take it. 4 damage, down to 3. And since he did damage, we discard a card from our hand, but we don't have any. So ready, drawing 5. Got Wasp, Brawn, Nick Fury, some Risk Gauntlets, and Genius. So Crossbones gets a threat. He's going to attack. Well, Tiger's going to take it. Base 2. 2 damage coming our way. That's enough to take her out. And the Gauntlets is when he damages you as our hero, so we're good there. So then we get a Hydra Soldier, comes in with guard. When defeated, we get in a counter card. Scheme of 1, attack of 2, and 4 health. So we are going to risk it and flip to our giant form. After you change to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So we're dealing damage, not attacking. So we can put that over here. Then we're going to attack for 4 to get rid of the Hydra Soldier and get in a counter card. Then we'll bring in Nick Fury for 4. 4 to 2, attack of 2, 3 health. And we've got options. We can remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. We're going to draw 3 cards. So we've got melee, pin particles, and an army of ants. Ooh. But what we're going to do is pay for Wasp to come in. 4 to 2, attack of 2, 3 health. After she enters play, we're going to deal 2 damage to an enemy if we're in giant form, which we are. But we're also paying with this, so as a hero response, if you spend this card, heal 2 damage from your hero if you're in giant form. So we're dealing 2, down to 5. And healing 2, up to 5. Then we're going to swing for 3. Down to 2. Wasp will swing for 2, which takes down Crossbones. So moving on to the next one. So while he has a weapon, his attack's gain piercing. When revealed, reveal the top card of the experimental weapons deck, and he's got 16 health. And we're getting a laser rifle. So +1 attack, attached to the villain. When he attacks, the attack gains range. So that means if we had retaliate, that's not going to work. So hero action, spend a energy and physical resource to discard this card. Then Nick is going to swing for 2, down to 14. End her turn. Drawing 4 cards. So we've got Resize, Lockjaw, Mockingbird, and Spider-Girl. So villain phase. Gains a threat. He's going to attack. Nick Fury will defend. So it's going to be 4, 6 damage. Thanks, Nick. Then we're going to get in a counter card. First one is a combat knife, giving him +1 attack. Gains piercing, so tough isn't going to help us. Hero action, spend a mental physical resource to discard that card. And then raid the armory. Insight 1, which is going to take that up to 3. Then when revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a weapon attachment's discarded and reveal that card. All right, so we'll just go ahead and do this. 2A, the Infinity Stone. When revealed, reveal the top card of the Experimental Weapons deck. Threshold of 6, and it is coming out with 1 thread on it. And top card here is an Energy Shield. So that gives him Retaliate 1, Hero Action, spending a mental and energy resource to discard that. And we're looking for another weapon. Eventually we'll find one. Maybe. That's armor. Let me make sure it didn't miss anything. Yeah, that went away earlier. Okay, so when we go through the deck, when we're discarding, we just stop the ability there. We'll get an acceleration token and shuffle. So he's got 4 attachments on him. 1 with Retaliate. 1 when he does damage to us during an attack. We discard a card, and this is just giving him Piercing, +1, and he's ranged and +1. So we are going to bring in Mockingbird. After she enters play, stun an enemy. She will attack for 1. So again with 13. She gets retaliated on, takes the damage. We will swing for 4. Down to 9. Get retaliated on down to 4. She-Hulk. Swinging for 4. Down to 5 health. And Wasp will swing for 3. I'm sorry, 2, taking us down to 3, and she gets retaliated on, takes her damage, and is out. End her turn, drawing 4, Army of Ants, got her helmet, and a giant stump, and the Hulk. So we add a threat, goes to attack, loses stunned, encounter card, Care for Cassie. You may flip to alter ego form. We can choose to exhaust to remove this from the game, or choose and discard a card from your hand. You cannot change form until your next turn ends and discard this obligation. I don't like it, so I'll stomp. And by that, I mean that's the card we're going to discard. Because for our turn, we can just swing for 4 and end this game. So that went way easier than I was expecting. We still had another damage, and we could have brought the Hulk in to do 3, and then he would have ran away. So pretty quick game there. Of course, Crossbones is one of the easier ones from the Rise of Red Skull set. So for deck construction, got our 15 base cards for aggression. Got 2 Power of Aggressions, Combat Training, 3 Relentless Assaults, 3 Melees, then a bunch of allies. We've got the Hulk, Spider-Girl, She-Hulk, Brawn, Tigra, and Valkyrie. I do like going ally heavy in my deck builds. So then for our basic cards, we've got our 3 resources. Swarm Tactics, just because if you can get it to go off, it's awesome. Helicarrier, Quinn Carrier, Nick Fury, Mockingbird, Lockjaw, and Endurance. So that's my deck build for Ant-Man going up against Expert Crossbones. As always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, so please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.